In December 2020, water started trading on Wall Street. Not water companies, not pipes. The water itself, futures contracts representing actual water you could never touch. Michael Burry, the man who predicted the 2008 crash, saw this coming a decade earlier. He called water the trade of the century and started buying California farmland with senior water rights. His strategy? Buy almond farms where the trees need 5 litres of water per seed and can't survive being fallowed. As competitors run dry, those with secure water access dominate. Burry's insight spawned an entire industry. Water Asset Management now controls $746 million in assets. Their internal motto for finding desperate sellers: debt, death, and divorce. They spent $100 million in 2024 alone buying Arizona land. The playbook is simple: purchase agricultural land cheap, strip the water rights, flip them to desperate cities at massive markups. One firm bought 485 acres for $9.8 million, flipped just the water rights for $24 million. And here's what should concern you. The CME Group successfully petitioned regulators to keep their water pricing methodology classified as confidential business information. They don't want you to see how the game works. But this playbook isn't new. It was written a century ago, and it destroyed an entire valley. In 1900, Owens Valley was called the Switzerland of California. Ranchers raised cattle, farmers grew crops. The federal government was planning an irrigation project to help the valley prosper. Then Los Angeles got thirsty. In 1904, the city's water chief, William Mulholland, and former mayor Frederick Eaton took a camping trip to scout water sources. Eaton began purchasing water options without revealing to farmers what he intended. A federal engineer named Joseph Lippincott secretly helped LA while his own agency was planning the farmers' irrigation project. This is what extraction looks like when it has government help. A syndicate of wealthy investors, including the owner of the Los Angeles Times and a member of the LA Water Board, used insider knowledge of where the aqueduct would end to purchase 16,000 acres in San Fernando Valley at rock-bottom prices. When water arrived, land values increased 100 to 1,000 times. The farmers never had a chance. By 1926, Los Angeles controlled 90% of Owens Valley land and water. Owens Lake, once 110 square miles, dried completely. The valley that was called the Switzerland of California became the nation's biggest source of dust pollution. The farmers fought back. They dynamited the Los Angeles aqueduct 17 times between 1924 and 1931. The Watterson brothers, who led the resistance, were ultimately imprisoned for embezzlement after their banks failed funding the fight. The only criminal penalties from the entire water war went to the people who tried to stop it. Then came the St. Francis Dam. March 1928, Mulholland's structure collapsed, sending a 140-foot wall of water 55 miles to the Mexican border. At least 431 people died. Victims were found as late as 1994. Buy the rights, dry the land, profit from desperation. The playbook hasn't changed in a century, only the scale. And this pattern goes back even further, 4,000 years further. Mesopotamian irrigation created civilization itself. But irrigation without drainage caused salt to accumulate. Clay tablets record the moment farmers realized what was happening. The earth turned white. The solution was known: leave land fallow, let soil recover. But rulers based their wealth on ever-growing populations. They ordered continued extraction. By 2100 BC, wheat had dropped to just 2% of crop production. By 1700 BC, agriculture in southern Mesopotamia had almost disappeared. 3/5 of the Sumerian population fled north. The Code of Hammurabi devoted hundreds of laws to water conflicts. Evidence they had become existential. They knew extraction would destroy them. They extracted anyway. Sound familiar? The Colorado River Compact of 1922 made a fundamental error that now threatens 40 million people. Negotiators assumed 16.4 million acre-feet annually based on unusually wet years. Tree ring studies reveal the actual long-term average, 13.2 to 14.3 million acre-feet. Recent flows average only 12.7 million. Total allocations, including Mexico's treaty share, over 16.5 million acre-feet. The river is promised to deliver water that does not exist. Lake Mead sat at 35% capacity in early 2025, bleeding 1.2 million acre-feet annually. Below 895 feet, the dead pool threshold, water cannot flow through Hoover Dam at all. A federal judge stated it plainly in 2024. The compact promised the basin states water that simply does not exist. And someone has to lose first. So who pays when the math doesn't work? Arizona farmers have absorbed the first cuts, 512,000 acre-feet, 18% of their allocation. California's Imperial Irrigation District, holding senior rights to 3.1 million acre-feet, faces zero mandatory reductions. First in time, first in right. Junior holders lose everything while senior holders receive full allocations. The small farmers lose their water. The senior rights holders keep theirs. But here's what should make you furious. Nestlé operated a Michigan plant extracting 1.1 million gallons daily, while paying approximately $800 per year in permit fees. In 2016 alone, the company earned $343 million from Michigan water. When the state considered a permit increase, 80,945 public comments opposed it, 75 supported it. PPPPYPP. The permit was approved anyway. In California, their Arrowhead operation ran for 28 years on an expired permit, paying $524 annually while extracting 62 million gallons per year. State investigators concluded the company had legal rights to only 2.4 million gallons. They took approximately 25 times more water than legally entitled. Here's the math that should enrage you. Corporations pay roughly $0.347 per gallon. Residential customers pay $0.74 per gallon. You pay more than 20 times what they pay for the same water. Meanwhile, 40% of Navajo Nation residents, 68,000 people, lack access to clean drinking water. The average Navajo uses 7 gallons per day compared to 8,100 for the typical American. The Supreme Court ruled 5-4 against requiring the federal government to secure their treaty-promised water. Corporations extract millions of gallons for pennies. Indigenous communities can't access water promised to them in 1868. We have a model for what happens when finance fully captures water markets. Australia tried it. The Murray-Darling Basin implemented the world's most mature water trading system. A 554-page government report in 2020 described the results as a damning doorstopper, documenting water theft, maladministration, profiteering, and market manipulation. Water brokers operated in a mostly unregulated environment, with gaping holes and appalling failures. The environmental results announced themselves dramatically. The 2018 to 2019 Menindee fish kill saw millions of fish die, including Murray cod over 20 years old. The Australian Academy of Science concluded, the root cause is there is not enough water in the Darling system, and it's getting worse. By 2023, millions more fish died, despite 3 years of rain. Water allocations in some rivers exceeded 100 to 275% of actual flows. The rivers died, the market thrived. Who won? The Blue Sky Water Fund reported annual returns of approximately 15% since 2012. One broker observed, being a water broker is like buying and selling shares. No depreciation, no maintenance. Not many asset classes that good. Colorado's Attorney General warned directly, Australia teaches us that open markets alone cannot solve the problems we are facing. The aquifers are collapsing faster than anyone predicted. The Ogallala took 6 to 15 million years to fill. Natural refill would take 6,000 years. Since 1950, it's lost 9% of total volume. Annual depletion now equals 18 Colorado rivers. California's Central Valley aquifer is depleting at 5 times the 60-year average. The land has subsided up to 28 feet since the 1920s. Over 5,300 wells went dry in just the past year, and the extraction keeps accelerating. The financial machinery is fully operational. Water futures allow speculation disconnected from physical supply. Prior appropriation doctrine now enables water rights to be severed from land and traded as pure financial instruments. The UN Special Rapporteur warned that treating water as gold, oil, and other commodities represents an existential threat to human rights. Los Angeles destroyed Owens Valley to fuel its growth. Sumerian rulers extracted until their civilization collapsed. Australia's water market enriched traders while killing rivers. In each case, Those with capital captured the resource while communities absorbed the cost. The playbook is running. The only question is whether you see it. Water futures launched in 2020. Hedge funds hold $746 million in water assets. The Colorado River is overallocated by millions of acre-feet. And the same playbook that destroyed Owens Valley a century ago is running nationwide. Know your water source. Know who holds the senior rights. Understand that debt, death, and divorce is how they find desperate sellers. The pattern is clear. When finance captures an essential resource, communities pay while capital extracts. Subscribe to see the playbook before it runs on you. The answers aren't hiding in the future, they're written in the past. And I'll show you where to look. Position accordingly.